Ladies and gents, 4 minutes left. I hope you guys prepared. Hope you guys get your drinks. Maybe some pizza fries on the side ready to go for tonight because we have a lot to discuss. Absolutely a lot to discuss. So get ready. Less than 4 minutes, folks. Hey, relax on the clock now, folks. 2 minutes. Better be patient. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Well, tonight we're going to talk all things Mickey Not So Scary Halloween Party. We're going to go in depth with all things not so scary. Starting off with the Magic Kingdom. Stephanie, what do you think tonight Disney's going to have planned for us?
I can't even take you seriously.
Yeah. All right, folks, welcome back to the channel. How's everyone doing today? Hope you guys are ready for an absolute long, stuttering live stream. It's going to be fun. It's going to be great. We, honestly, out of all live streams, besides the night before HHN opens, this is the one live stream we've been looking forward to the most since we started live streams. It's always when they finally got all the announcements out, and unfortunately, we have to wait this late to get majority of things to talk about. However, we finally got it, right? We got it, folks. We were able to create a video, get things out and all, but today's the day we've been waiting for. This is what we've been looking forward to. So make sure everybody can see us, make sure everybody can hear us, and get ready to go because we got a long one planned. We do have an extra battery. So if this one dies out, we are swapping that battery in there. What probably will happen is we're going to have to take the camera off. You might not see us for a second. We're going to do a couple of, like changes and stuff. And I'm sure those lightsabers are going to die. Maybe some of the camera lights might die. But we got a lot to talk about, folks.
It is definitely going to be this one.
Yeah, that one will die pretty quickly. Hondo is here today. Come here, bud. Over here. Why do you got to go under? Guys, look. Come here.
He thinks he's smaller than he is.
Come here. Come up here. Come say hi to everyone. We got a long talk today. We got Hondo here. He just got a fresh shower. Yes. He's all cleaned up.
All clean.
Ready to go, right? You ready to go? So we got a lot to talk about. What do you want to talk about, Hondo? Tweets.
Oh. He got all his new, he's already destroyed it.
And we got to show you guys some things that we got. We're getting prepped for Halloween.
Some new Halloween toys. They're already destroyed, but that's fine. It's like a little pumpkin.
Yeah, he's also got like a large spider, and he's also has like a skull that he plays with, and those probably get destroyed pretty soon. But shout out to his grandmother for supplying those. Yeah. He loves them. So we went out shopping earlier today, looking for more like Halloween stuff, and we're getting prepped, we're getting decored out, and all that stuff. Gotta lay down. Gotta sit down.
Wants to play.
Yeah, I know. So, anyways, folks, I hope you guys are having a great Friday. We are officially, as of right now, and maybe 2 hours over, 2 weeks away from Halloween Horror Nights kicking off here in Orlando.
That's so crazy.
It's quick.
In 2 weeks from today,
it's right around the corner.
We will be at Halloween Horror Nights. That's so crazy.
You know what's crazy? It's that we're alone in this garage right now. And we can't see or hear you guys. So I feel like we're just like, that's crazy, right?
Yeah.
Let me go turn this fan off real quick because it is blowing right in the audio. Go lay down. Go lay down. You need to lay down. We got a long one today. So, anyways, 2 weeks away, folks. And we have a lot to talk about today. So let's not wait any longer. Let's get going. Tuesday, we got an announcement. 6 haunted houses, 5 scare zones, and 2 shows. The ones that we've been waiting for months and months. Not months and months, but we've been waiting for it for some time. Finally got announced. And when, in our reaction to it, we were just like, yes, it's finally announced, but we weren't surprised with any of these. The speculation map by HN Nightmares is pretty spot on every single year. And then, of course, we had that leak with the shirt. And majority of those houses that were on that leak from that t-shirt is presented with the announcement. So it wasn't anything that we were like, oh, everything we pretty much expected. But it was more the fact that yes, we're ready to rock and roll. Let's get in business. HHN finally woke up, which, this is is this late for them to announce houses, scare zones? And no. This is around the time that they should make their last announcement. But it is ridiculous that it is 6 houses, 5 scare zones, 2 shows. You're looking at 75% of the event being dumped this late. Now, like we said, this is usually around their last announcement time that they should be posting, which should be maybe one more house, a good surprise house, 2 scare zones, a show. They could add that. But when you got 75% of the event, it's kind of bummer. We felt the wind's been taken out of us in a sense where we've been so excited. We've been waiting for announcements, and the videos that they dropped have been amazing. This last video they had announcement was absolutely fantastic. We loved it. We love the lighting in it. We love some of the camera movements and the storylines in there. But it's we would have loved to see more for the individual original houses earlier and stuff, and increasing that hype versus kind of sucking the wind out of us by just having us wait and wait and wait. But nevertheless, that's pretty much one of the harshest things I'll say in tonight's live stream. But other than that, let's talk about the houses.
We finally have an event.
Yeah, we have an event, except we're still waiting for food and drinks, which we've gotten word that August 30th or 31st, later, I think next week or sometime, or the week before, or the week of opening night. They should have like the food and all that stuff announced. And then we know that the Tribute Store opens up to annual pass holders for preview Thursday, the night before. So
is that when team member preview?
No,
is?
team member preview for HHN is the 31st, I believe, August 31st. It's Wednesday. They usually always do it 2 days before.
So the team members will probably get to do the Tribute Store on that Wednesday.
Maybe, yeah.
So they'll be the first ones to see it, and then team
If they
members
have it open.
or annual pass holders get in a day early.
Yeah. So that's what's going on. We do plan to try to get to the Tribute Store for annual pass holder preview. We want to check it out. We don't plan, however, to do a video because that night, Thursday, we're going to be doing a live stream with you guys. It'll be the last live stream right before opening night. So that's what we put our plans and focuses towards. So that's when the Tribute Store opens. But let's talk about the houses, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's head on over to HHN's actual website. Let me do my little magic right here. Boom, boom, bada bing. All right, so here we go. So Halloween Horror Nights in Orlando. And then, of course, yesterday we finally got for Hollywood, which, we don't really care about, but it's still HHN. It's all good.
We did get Killer Clowns, which is why I'm wearing my Clownzilla shirt.
They don't.
But that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, it was the Killer Clowns video that they had was really good, and also the Terror Tram little video that it had. I actually really liked it, especially the Nope section because the audio, the sound design in the movie Nope, like blew my mind. I loved Nope's sound design, and they added a little bit of that in that trailer, which was like, oh yeah, makes us want to go out there. So, but here's some of the houses that we've already known for months and months. You got The Weekend, Halloween, Blumhouse, and Legends Collide. And then if we click on all haunted houses, guess what, folks? We actually have, boom, the rest of the lineup, which I'm sure all of you guys have already heard. Where's the other two? Oh, no, they're right here. I was like, wait a minute. Where are the other ones? So we got Spirits of the Coven, Bugs Eaten Alive. We have Fiesta de Chupacabras and Hell Block Horror. Then Dead Man's Pier, Winter's Wake, and Descendants of Destruction. Now, they have little brief, descriptions of pretty much what these houses entail, but with Universal's new podcast that they have, what did I say?
Music.
No, music.
I knew you would forget.
Hold up, folks. I forgot music. I always forget the music in the beginning. I get so excited to talk about this. I forget we don't even have music, and as we have these AirPods in so we can hear it.
Anything.
It's just quiet.
But taking over what Brian said, they have the podcast Discover Universal. I'm probably gonna trip over my words a lot tonight because I just traveled and every time I travel after I get off the plane, I just get a head cold, and I kind of have that right now. But the Discover Universal podcast did 2 episodes on the houses with some of the creative team, and they kind of went more in depth with the original houses and what the actual ideas behind them are, which is kind of cool. They honestly, the way that they talked about them made me way more excited for the houses than I was before. Wouldn't you agree? You're not listening.
I'm sorry. I was testing something over here. I got to fix it.
I was saying
I agree
the podcast episodes, the ones about the original houses specifically, made me way more excited for those houses than I was before.
100% agreed.
I was kind of honestly a little bummed about the original houses when they were first announced. I was like, they sound cool, I guess.
Yeah.
But then once we learn more about them, I'm like, okay, those sound pretty cool.
So I think out of the original ones that were announced, you and I were both looking forward to the Spirit of the Coven one.
Yes.
Thinking it was going to be like old witches in a sense, very traditional, like a little witch's hut in the woods,
1800s
that stuff. More like the colonial, American,
Salem.
That stuff. And then the announcement came out in this little blurb, which actually I'll go up to here. Little blurb here. It says it's beautiful flapper witches. It's 1920 speakeasy, which we weren't expecting at all. Now, 1920s. I love the era of 1920s and stuff, and you got the flappers and the speakeasy, which to me kind of reminds me of what Case Files had with the Kitty Cat Club. in a sense, like
kind of.
that vibe, which I really enjoyed. So I am looking forward to this, but it wasn't what we were hoping for, which I think knocked us down. And then, of course, the Universal podcast, you know, they talked about it briefly more. We're like, oh, okay. Like, you get more excited for it.
They first of all, they said that the music in it is really, like, awesome. Because it's all, like, 20s, but then it's, like, kind of, like, twisted a little bit. And that it starts out like you're in this club, like this speakeasy. And then, like, the further you get into the house, the more they bring you into, like, their actual lair.
Yeah.
And it's like...
And then they get haggish.
And it's, like, not fun anymore.
I'm the pretty one.
So, I don't know. It sounds interesting.
I like the transition.
I think it'll be really pretty and then scary. Hopefully.
And honestly, what a good amount of these houses sound like the beginning, like 2 rooms, the opening scene, it seems like visually it's going to be beautiful. It's not going to be like so scary right off the bat. It's going to start getting you in the story, but the transition from start to finish in the houses are going to be so polar opposite that I feel like in that brief time that you walk through, you're going to be transitioning through a lot, and it's going to hit you hard.
It reminds me of that movie. It was like a kid's movie, I think, or at least like a family movie about like the witches that would turn into like... They turned into like, they were like pretty like women, and then they turned into like creepy looking like witches, and like I think they turned into rats. Someone will know what I'm talking about. It was like a Disney movie, I want to say, but that movie scared the crap out of me when I was little. And I feel like what?
Hocus Pocus.
I feel like it's kind of like that, where they start out like pretty and they're all in like their flapper dresses and everything, and then like the further you get in, they turn into like creepy. Yes, the witches. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm feeling. But like in the 20s, you probably haven't. It'd probably scar you if you had seen it.
Heard. It'll probably scar you, Brian. And then next up is Bugs Eaten Alive. We are going to actually save that for last. Fiesta de Chupacabras. The reason being is because we have a lot to talk about with that one. Fiesta de Chupacabras. Now, this one I'm actually excited for, too.
We also missed it.
I'll get to that in a second. Fiesta de Chupacabras. I am excited for this one because I feel like visually this one's going to be very colorful, in a sense. And I'm interested to see if they're going to have a lot of outdoor elements with this. Because usually, in like Latin America, and so at least like, you know, with my family and all, a lot of times when we do like big, I mean, any party, you bring the family over, it's huge, right? And a lot of times we don't have space inside, so it's always outside. So I wonder if, you know, because we're like these tourists being invited into this town, if we're going to be like in outdoor settings. And I love when HHN does like outdoor settings versus indoor. And I hope that's what we get to see. But I'm interested to see because it's just like regular townsfolk trying to kill you. So it's just like normal people. Yeah, like the villagers. It's just like normal people. There's nothing really like visually that's different than just a human.
Also be the chupacabras.
Oh yeah, and then of course that I'm excited for. But the one thing that I'm worried about is I hope they don't have a lot of villagers in a sense coming after you because it's very basic in my opinion.
Yeah,
this is supposed to be, unless they're they're dressed up. I mean, who knows? They're throwing a party, they're celebrating. So
maybe
we'll see. So that one I'm excited for. On that, do you want to take over Hell Block Horror? Because this one I think surprised us the most because this was on the absolute bottom of our list.
Yeah, this one was at the bottom when it was speculated. We were like, we don't want a prison house. Like, I feel like prison is always like done at like your basic haunts. I feel like almost every haunt has like a prison theme. And we were like not excited for it. And then they announced it and we heard just like the name and we were like, ugh, I guess we're getting a prison house. And then we heard about like what it's actually going to be about. And it's more so like, it's a like hodgepodge of all these monsters and creatures that are being held in this prison. So it's not human inmates. It's like a bunch of different creatures and like, didn't you even say like vampires and like
aliens, vampires,
like all these different creatures that are being held in this prison and then like escape. There's this whole storyline about some like power core that's gonna go off and like destroy the world and like we have to like get to it
It's
by
gonna
the end
release
of the
all the
house.
monsters, and we have to destroy the facility or
Yeah,
something like that.
It's like this whole
Like
story.
on a mission.
So it's like not your basic prison haunted house.
One good point that you made was it kind of gives you that sense of cabin in the woods, that final scene where they all kind of come out.
Yeah.
I feel like that's probably a good way to resemble it.
I mean, you say anything about like a bunch of different monsters coming out of like a prison, I think of Cabin in the Woods.
It's a good way to put it.
So that's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think this one, because of that podcast and what their description was, it really did open our eyes. Like, oh, okay, like that we can run with. So that one we're excited to see. And then Dead Man's Pier, Winter's Wake, and Descendants of Destruction. Now, we did see some leaked stuff from Descendants of Destruction as well as Dead Man's Pier, and both beautifully, like visually wise. I think a lot of these houses, they're really going over the top. Sit. Yeah, relax, man. I know. You gotta stay here. This ain't new to you. You've done this before. No, you know better.
Lay down.
He's getting upset.
Go
lay down. But anyways, Dead Man's Pier, Winter's Wake. This is based off of, or it's related with Dead Man's Wharf, which was a scare zone back in 2016, I believe. If I'm wrong, correct me on that, guys. But at Dead Man's Pier, I'm excited. This is like your winter-themed house. So I'm really hoping the AC's cranking in this house, because lately here in Florida, it's been hot. It's been even in here. I think in this garage, it's like 90 degrees, possibly, with the humidity that we have. But
I don't know why. We talked about this last year at Sir Henry's, because they had like a fisherman boat themed house. And for some reason, like anything that's like boat related, like pirates, all of that stuff, like for some reason just like doesn't do it for me. I don't know why. But this one is still like probably one of my least anticipated. I feel like our most anticipated is like very different.
We might actually be very different.
Last year we were pretty much the same on everything. But I feel like this year we're very different. But I think this one's lower on my list. I just like don't really care for like water themed houses.
See, I love them. Anything that's water themed, I love. So I feel like this is more around the middle, which we will be doing a most anticipated video tomorrow. Actually, we will be filming that tomorrow, and hopefully to get it up early next week. And then Descendants of Destruction. This one, I was excited hearing about it. Visually, I'm excited to see it, but the storyline overall, I don't really care for it too much when it's explained, because it's more of like mutated people in a sense. Like Descendants, yeah. Okay, when you first start off, it's like, you're going into a New York subway like station. And as you go into it, like you see survivors and stuff, and then you start seeing like more mutated like people. And then the further you get is the deeper you get in the subway, like the station. And the lighting changes as well as the people. People become more mutated, becomes more like dangerous. And the lighting goes from like having like lights like this to it being really dark and only having like black lit, like bioluminescent, like subterranean, like mushrooms and stuff like that. Which will be like, honestly, visually, like I feel like a lot of these houses this year will be visually amazing, like they always are. But this one I feel like went from being in the top like 5 for me to the bottom 3.
I'm excited for this one because I think this one's going to be one of the more scary ones. Because for me, I feel like the ones that always get me are the ones that are a little bit like grimy, like a little like they feel like unsafe. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get that.
And especially when they're very dark and like the atmosphere is not necessarily pretty. It's just like dark and dirty and grimy. Like those are the ones that scare me the most. So like I feel like this one's gonna scare me. That's why like the water ones just don't really do it for me, because they feel like safe. They don't feel like that to me. So
don't feel too dangerous.
I don't know, but I'm excited for this one. I feel like people were saying like New York Transit alone is scary. So
yeah, like I think that's more scarier than.
So I feel like going through like abandoned like subway, like I'm just thinking like like the subway tunnel. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, walking along
like,
the tracks.
Abandoned subway tunnel, like that's terrifying. So I feel like that one is gonna scare me. So I'm excited for it.
Go lay down. Go over there. You gotta stay over there, bud. We got like an hour left, my man. Got a long way going. And then I want to bring this up now. They did send this over. Lily said, I know you guys will do a video, but which house right now has you most excited? She's looking forward to Michael Myers. Now, when it comes to the IPs, I think we're more excited between like Legends Collide and Halloween, the 1978 film, like anything Halloween we're excited for. And of course, the classic monsters. But the reason why I saved this super chat is because I want to talk about Bugs Eaten Alive. I feel like this hasn't moved at all for you. It might still be in its same.
It definitely has moved. This was absolute bottom of my list before.
I think it was bottom of both of our lists.
And it's moved up, but mostly because I'm excited to watch other people's reactions.
Okay. We're not going to say on the list. We'll hold that for tomorrow.
I don't think that I'm going to like this house. I really don't think I'm going to like this house. But like for myself, I think I'm going to like it in terms of like, I can appreciate what they've done. But like, I'm gonna be like, okay, no. I can't keep my eyes open walking through the house.
Yeah.
So in the podcast, I think someone mentioned it in the comments earlier, but in the podcast, Charles literally said like, our goal for this house is to like make people not be able to finish it, and it's gonna be like a lot of like. The fear, I always forget the name of it, but the fear of like small holes, which like has never been a thing for me. Like I have never like identified as somebody who like got like creeped out by that stuff. But when you see pictures of it, like it makes you uncomfortable. And like there's that all throughout the house and like maggots and cockroaches and like.
This house is going to be disgusting.
It's gross.
It's going to be slimy. It's going to be gross. However, When this was like speculated, this was like the bottom of my list. I was thinking this is going to be the scariest house, and from what the creators were saying, and you know, it's going to really freak the heck out of everybody. However, though, the theming to this is like 1950s home of the future. So like, welcome to the home of tomorrow. Today's tour takes you into an extravagant house built into the future. Your 1950s home tour will take you into the kitchen dedicated to, anyways, you get the point, right? So I'm excited to see that. I want it to be very like polished when you start off and like to make it really feel like, oh, like this looks like an actual tour through a home of like tomorrow, like set in the 1950s. And then I feel like it's going to do that transition where from the start, it's one thing and the end is going to be completely different. But like I feel like this has gotten up into like my top 3 that I'm really favorited for this year's event. I don't know why. I know I'm already terrified of it from what I'm hearing. I know a lot of people are grossed out about it from what the creator, like even them walking through the house, the creator said like they were having a hard time and there was no scare actors. The show lights were on. Yeah. It's just that creepy.
They said they were all walking through and like a moth flew by, like a
real
like
moth,
and they all like freaked out.
Yeah, this house is gonna be, this one's gonna be creepy, and it's actually located where Wicked Growth was last year. But
Krista's thing said it's basically Carousel of Progress, but slimy.
Yeah, 100%. That's what I'm getting the vibe from, and that's I hope that's what we hear.
It's like Tomorrowland
overhead, pretty much. Yeah. But USMC Two-Face and Lily, we appreciate the $5 so much. We are excited for Michael Myers, but I think Bugs Eaten Alive has gotten up on my list a little bit more.
It's definitely not number 1 for me, but I'm like anticipating it, but I don't think it's like on the top of my list.
Yeah, I think this one is the one we're more like most curious to see, like the reviews for on opening night to see what people truly think of this house.
It will also definitely have to be one of those houses that I remind myself like multiple times going through that it's not real. Like I have to be like, it's not real.
What was that? We saw a trailer that's like, it's just a movie. It's just a movie. The House on the Left.
Yeah.
Like the trailer for that.
Last House on
it's
the
just, Left. Or it's just a house. It's all fake.
Yeah, they're not real bugs, but they did say that like we're in Florida. It is a tent. Real bugs could get in there.
You'll see a real bug every now and then. I can promise you that. So,
yes.
But that is the houses that we got announced. But then if we go over here to things to do, a scare zone. You walk through a scare zone. I don't know why I didn't just have an actual tab for a scare zone.
That is kind of weird. Things to do. It's like, is a house not a thing to do?
Yeah, right. So here we go. So we got 5 scare zones. Conjure the Dark, Graveyard Deadly Unrest, Sweet Revenge, Scarecrow Cursed Soil, and Horrors of Halloween, featuring the one and only Lil Boo, and then the Pumpkin Lord.
So we're going to talk about this in our most anticipated list video, correct? Scarezones? Or just the houses?
Let's talk about the Scarezones now. You guys are here. Let's rock and roll. Let's do the Scarezones now.
What I was going to say was I honestly cannot pick a single one that I'm most excited for. They all sound amazing. I can't pick one.
I can.
I mean, yes, Horrors of Halloween because of the Pumpkin Lord. But like after that, it's like that's number one, and then the rest are all tied for number two. Because they all sound amazing.
Yeah. Horrors of Halloween, we're getting the Pumpkin Lord as an official icon. Like he's officially an icon. He's taken over the year. Horror Nights stated it. It's in that little blurb that you guys can see, which is exciting.
They also said in the said in the podcast that like if you have seen like the scaffolding that's going up in is that Avenue of the Stars?
I call it Production Central. Minion
Way. The scaffolding that's going up with all the pumpkins and Lil Boo and everything, they said that those are going to be like his vines. So I don't know if they're going to add like vines onto there to look like...
Oh, I bet you. Like he's growing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which is, that's so cool. I can't wait to see that.
I am excited. I remember like last year's like HHN 30 when you're walking through the arches and you're getting to the turnstiles to go into the park. You could see Halloween Horror Nights lit up and those the lights and stuff and like the flames going off, and that was exciting. But this year you're going to be walking through and you're going to be seeing pumpkins all lit up in the front, like with vines, and they'll have other effects added in there. That's just visually going to be so
They're
beautiful.
also, it's kind of like how they've done in the past where they're going to have like one character from each of the other scare zones in that scare zone as well. Like they're going to have like
overall
one from
feature.
the Scarecrow, one from like
Yeah.
Sweet Revenge. Like they're, because it's like the Pumpkin Lord is like bringing them all
together for a happy day.
He's like controlling all of the scare zones. So like there's going to be one of each, or maybe more than one, but they're all going to be in that scare zone too, which is kind of cool.
I'm extreme like that. Obviously, that one's going to be the top one because we get to see Pumpkin Lord and the looks of the pumpkins and stuff always at night is great. But I can easily tell you what my second favorite one is: Scarecrow Cursed Soil. I don't know if any of you guys have seen photos or have you been to Universal recently, walking through Central Park. You guys know what I'm talking about. The barn that they're going to put there, which has officially been confirmed by the Universal podcast, Discover Universal. They're going to put a whole barn in that street, which is so small. That street is so small. It's always like the tightest street out of them all. They're going to put a barn there. We're going to be able to walk through it. And recently we walked through, like 2 nights ago, I believe. Yeah. We checked it out and stuff. And it is coming along. And actually, I think by this coming week, we should start seeing some of the paneling going up for this structure. That is going to be beautiful to come down. You pass through Hollywood, you get through the cemetery and stuff, and then you look down and there's just this glowing, like sinister, like
they have
barn. Just like, oh my god, I can't wait.
They have lanterns in the trees now too that I assume will light up, which will be really atmospheric and cool. But I think it was Charles that said, even if you don't go through a house, they're going to make you go through a house because they literally built a house in the middle of one of the scare zones. Yeah,
and speaking of like, going through a house in the scare zones, they are adding triggers all throughout this year, and what seems like to be more triggers than they had in the past, because when we went through Hollywood the other night, we noticed like all these little areas had triggers all over for the scare actors to go in and hit and do like extras. Man, the scare zones have stepped it up this year, guys. I think we're more excited for the scare zones than we are the houses.
Yeah.
Could just be us. But we want to know from you guys, what are you guys most excited for, like, let's say for the announcements, right? Out of the announcements that we just got from this last one, the 6 houses, 5 scare zones, 2 shows, out of the 6 houses, which house are you looking forward to the most? And out of the 5 scare zones, which one are you anticipating to experience the most? I want to know out of those 2, which one you guys have that you're looking forward to, because I'm pumped.
Yeah.
I'm pumped.
We didn't get through all the scare zones though.
Oh, we'll get into them. I just
Okay.
wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
Also, Crystal, Halloween. Last year's scare zones were lacking. This year, I am so pumped for them all. 100% agree with you.
Yes.
Remember when they were announced, we were excited because we're like, oh, great, we get Halloween Horror Nights back, missed the whole year. And then we went through it, and it was just kind of like, eh. Now, of course, we didn't have a full year last year, technically. There were still some things that were, not HHN really.
Yeah.
But this year, we are going to have a full year, 100%. Everything is back into it. And the scare zones, I feel like they're like, all right, you know what, we're gonna turn it up a notch even more. And it's looking good. The overall theming, the design for it, and just all the structures that they're putting up in the streets. And I feel like the reason why this year's scare zones are going to be that much extra compared to years past is because there is no daytime parade they currently have.
Correct.
What was it called?
Superstar?
Yeah, that one. The Superstar parade
How
that they have.
How did you forget Superstar?
Totally, I'm thinking of HHN. But the Superstar parade that they usually have going throughout their daily operations, which that's where the parade route is, so they can't have stuff in the street
During the day.
That is no longer a thing right now. So they're allowed to put all these magnificent structures out in the streets, which is why when we went through Hollywood the other night,
They had them all.
there was so much out there. And I feel like there's still going to be more that they're going to add. I think they're going to add some in the middle of the street as well. I feel like you'll get one stage or something, like a big mausoleum or something.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I don't know what they're going to put, but I feel like they're still adding more to the middle of the streets because usually they have some props they can't just leave in the middle of the street. They usually bring it out on a truck or anything,
Right.
while they're transitioning from daytime guests to the HHN event. So I'm excited to see what more gets added to that.
Yeah. They even said for Sweet Revenge, I know we're going to get to the other scare zones, but they said for Sweet Revenge, they're even partnering with the people who work on the Mardi Gras floats to have actual floats in the street.
Yeah.
To be the Halloween parade that ended up getting crashed.
Mm-hmm.
Which, if it's Mardi Gras size floats, that's
huge.
insane.
That is
It'll
huge.
probably be the smaller ones, kind of like the alligator that was in the tribute store.
I think it was Vamp 55. I think the year the Scare Zone was, they actually had a float out there.
It'll probably be like that, a
size.
smaller one, not a full parade float. Because you can't even.
Could you imagine?
Because you can't even
having a
see
large
to
float?
the other side of the road when you with those big floats. I don't think it'll be that big because it doesn't need to hold 30 people on it like the Mardi Gras ones do.
Unless they got something very special planned out that we have no idea.
But it still is cool that they're gonna have an actual parade that gets derailed, basically.
Derailed. I like that better.
But I wanted to go to this comment real quick before
let me
I
get to
lose
it.
it.
Crystal, thank you so much again for the $4.99. We truly appreciate it. It's gonna go to the Hondo Fund as he's knocked out. Is he knocked out?
Yeah.
Finally.
Finally.
He gets antsy. We left earlier and we didn't play with him much today because we were getting some other things. So I knew tonight in the live stream he's going to be like, guys, I want to play.
Hopefully he just stays asleep. But he was up a little bit.
Oh, before this one?
Yeah.
What was it? Who was it by?
John Sanchez.
I Want Clowns in Simpsons Land.
They also mentioned in the podcast, it was a very brief mention and it wasn't a confirmation. So I don't know for sure, but he mentioned that once you leave the Scarecrow zone, and as you make your way to the next zone, so that would be the
other
Conjure,
side of the park, pretty much.
Over to San Francisco, he said that you might come past some chainsaws. So we're crossing our fingers that we will get chainsaws in Springfield.
Yeah, I'm 99% sure we're gonna get them this year. Last year we didn't get it. We don't know why we really didn't get them last year.
I don't know.
But this year I'm pretty sure that we're gonna be getting the Chainsaw Horde back. Now, what the Chainsaw Horde is, we have no idea. But with who was it? Was it Charles that said that, or was it someone else?
I think it was either him or Matt.
Okay, one of them did mention that you'll come across chainsaws on your way, and if you're going through Scare Zone or Scarecrow, the Central Park area, the next location that you have besides Kid Zone to your right, you have Springfield on the left, and that's where I'm pretty sure we're going to get the Chainsaw Horde. So very much hoping that we get the chainsaws back, because last year it felt like that whole half of the park
It just
was empty. felt dead, except for, of course, the houses, and then you had Nightmare Fuel. But the thing is, with the houses, you have to get in line for them and go backstage. So that whole area was just kind of missing an element to it.
Krista's thing says no actors, just chainsaws. It's just a bunch of chainsaws, like
just scattered around.
That's more terrifying. Could you imagine all the guests that would pick those things up?
Hey, honey, look.
Yeah, no.
Now I'm just like, I'm just visualizing it. I'm just thinking, could you? Oh, that'd be fun, guys. So pick up a chainsaw and you get this. Pay $20 to get one of their chainsaws and go and
run
scare
around.
a guest, and take it back. So Jim Daniels, the king of HHN, coming in here. Also the our whatchamacallit, the member of the month.
Yeah,
Jim Daniels,
member
of the year. Jim Daniels with the $50 donation. Finally, some decent Scarezones. 100% agree with you. We're very excited for the Scarezones, and like we said earlier in the stream, we're more excited for the Scarezones than we are the house, which never happened. We've usually always been more excited for the houses, which we're not bashing the houses. The houses sound great. It's just since majority of them are originals, we have to experience them versus where the IPs we already know what we're gonna pretty much expect to experience. So the Scarezones, though, like we got to walk through, we got to see some of these structures going up, and then hearing what they're themed and what's going to be featured there has gotten us even more excited. So, guys, we're 2 weeks away.
Yeah.
What are y'all doing? Get up. Let's go. 2 weeks. Come on. Get your HHN shirts on. Let's go.
Yeah.
Where are you guys? But thank you so much, though, for the $50 donation, Jim Daniels.
Elizabeth said her favorite is this character that says like chainsaw noises instead of instead of doing the chainsaw. I remember hearing like the story from like other scare actors about how like the reason why that happened or why that started was because he like his chainsaw like broke or something or wasn't like, I don't know, something was wrong with it. So he like went back and told them, and they were like, well, we don't have another one to give you right now. Like, we'll work on it, but just go out there and scare. And he didn't have any chainsaws. So he was just, just like trying to do what he could without a chainsaw. And then one of the other scare actors that I used to work with also said that the one year he was in one of the chainsaw zones and his chainsaw broke. So they gave him one of those like rubber chickens. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I know
so instead of a chainsaw, he just had a rubber chicken and was just
around.
going up and scaring people with the chicken.
I do remember that. Hopefully, I don't know. I think that'd be kind of cool to continue that. Or they just give one of the chainsaw words like a rubber chicken.
Yeah.
Like this is what you have to do for tonight.
Yeah.
Actually sounds funny. Rubber chicken. Let's head back on over to the other scare zones that we really haven't touched much about. Sweet Revenge. This one has like beautiful like Halloween lights in the trees. This one's also got like the food booths and stuff like decorated, looking like a little like Main Street kind of vibe. It's got the big like van that's outside with like Major Sweets, right? Major Sweets, I think that's what his name is. And then all these different candies posted. They got a little tractor out there, and this is the only location I think currently that we saw like actual dead bodies. They have bodies out in the zone, guys. Bodies. They're everywhere now. But of course, those things, if you guys don't know, anything that's covered in a tarp at the park, that's more than likely a dead body underneath. So we got to see that the other day for the first time, which is really exciting. And then Graveyard, Deadly Unrest, and Conjure the Dark. Graveyard, we've talked about so many times, so we haven't spent too much time on it. It's starting to get more overrun looking at it. It's starting to get really good. And then Conjure the Dark. This one confused me. I was expecting like witches. Yeah. And now it seems like this is very like
Black magic.
Yeah. Black magic style where it's like monsters and creatures that pretty much was summoned by a witch. Which is not going to be like your
first.
It's going to be like
first Halloween.
Yeah. But it's going to be like evil, like sorceress kind of style, like, very like Celtic vibe. And we're going to hear like a lot of like ominous, like,
like chanting maybe.
Yeah. Like it's gonna be like Spooky Island. That's
thing.
Scooby-Doo Spooky Island vibe over there. I'm excited for that one.
We were just there the other night and we were looking at the stage. First of all, this stage is huge.
It is ginormous,
especially
guys.
for that scare zone. It's huge.
It is ginormous.
And I saw a tweet today that door was open, so it does open.
Oh, so it does. Okay, we were checking earlier to see if it was or wasn't. I was gonna pull it up, but I'll wait for it a second. So yeah, that stage is absolutely huge, and I'm glad that Horror Nights pushed that back more into the Fast and Furious exit.
Yeah.
Because that whole area last year was just a whole cluster. Now, that is the only thing they have over there besides some lighting and trussing and stuff. So I wonder what other things they're going to bring to that zone, because they do have lights pointed in specific directions that they're more than likely to put more props and stuff.
Yeah.
I just wonder how much can you put in that zone without it getting to problematic as last year.
Yeah.
And the problem is, last year you had all those little mini stages. So a lot of people would stand in front of the stages, especially the look-see one, and they would watch kind of the show, what was going on. This year you have this giant stage. So we know there's going to be a show. You have this cauldron. So there's like some brewing, some sacrificing or whatever that's going to happen. That's going to draw in a huge crowd there in itself. I hope that crowd doesn't get so far back into the zone that it blocks the pathway from other people just walking by. I don't know. I feel like that area, it's really hard to do things like that.
I was going to type this out.
I get worried about it.
I was going to type this out, but I'll just say it. Chris asked if it's bigger or smaller than the controller stage. I would say it's smaller than the controller stage, but probably bigger than any other non-New York stage than we've seen.
If we're talking about like ratio aspects and dimensions and stuff, if you compare just the stages alone, this one is smaller than the Seek and Destroy stage that they had from the controller. But if you put it into comparison of the ratio of the zone that it's in, this is like 10 times bigger, technically speaking. It's just that massive. And it looks amazing.
There's enough room there's enough room for 3 walkways. Like there's like 2 walkways on either side and then the door in the middle.
In the middle, yeah.
So like there's enough room for
a whole show.
A good amount of people up there.
Yeah, they're gonna have a entire show. I'm excited to see what that is. So, Jim Daniels again with the $25 donation. Excited about Steph's favorite house, the Bug House. Number one. I think Stephanie is more excited for this house than any other house she's ever even dreamed of.
I am excited to see other people's reactions. I think other people will be just as horrified by it as I am. I think it's going to be awful. I think it's going to be, in the eyes of like somebody who can appreciate a good haunted house, I think I'm going to love it. But like as a guest walking through it, I'm going to hate it.
So 2 things. If somebody from HHN sitting here and they're listening, if you guys don't have any cameras set up in that house to watch the reactions of people, then you guys have done this year wrong. You got to put a house, or you got to put a camera in a house like this. You have to see the reactions to some of these people. I promise you, the number one reaction you're going to get is this. It's going to be these, like the SWAT, the fly SWAT, whatever. It's going to be one of those things, and it's just going to, that's what you're going to get throughout the majority of the house. You're even going to have probably people getting halfway and be like, I can't, I got to go.
That'll be a house that I don't think I've ever fully dropped in a house before. So when we're scare acting, like we'll count up the amount of times we get people to like drop. So like
bodies,
like on their hands and knees.
Like they're fully on the ground.
And I don't think I've ever done that in a house, at least not an HHN house. But this might be one. Like if I hear or feel something, I might fall like on the ground.
They probably should have a rope tethered through the entire crowd where you get like strapped, harnessed. So you're attached to the people in front of you, so everyone has to continuously keep moving through the house. If not, you're just going to have people all over it. People are going to be fighting each other, just like, I gotta
maybe they're hyping this up too much.
I want it to be this good. I kind of, obviously not really, but I want it to be kind of like chaotic where we're just like, you get out of that house and you're just like, oh my God. And then I'll never look at a bug the same way after this house.
How many times per night do you think they're going to have to go down for like a code fee?
Oh, yeah. 5 minutes.
5 minutes? I was like...
Every 5 minutes there's going to be a problem.
Minutes.
Actually, the second thing I was going to mention too, they need to have a bar They did this at SeaWorld with their Holostream event. They need to have a bar or a restaurant or a place where people can go sit, drink, have some food and stuff. And those cameras that they have in the house, you can watch people while you eat or while you drink and watch their reactions.
You can also pay extra to hit like a button that like
does like a trigger,
like triggers something.
Maybe starts like a giant like flying bug to like sound like they're flying over with a gust of wind. Like they need to do something like that, interactive and involved. Because I feel like we would, days where we don't plan to do houses or anything, we'd go to the bar, have a drink, and absolutely watch people like get wrecked in the house. So, but Jim Daniels with the $25, thank you so much. Your tap's about to run out, so we truly appreciate it though.
Did we
got a question here? Will Brian get to record from Kyle Rosen? Now, I will put this out there. We did get a couple questions on this. The only people who get allowed to film through the houses are people that
at Orlando.
In Orlando, yeah. Hollywood's different.
They like allow everybody to record. Orlando, they're like, no, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I kind of enjoy it, but then I kind of don't at the same time because it anyways, that's another like situation or a story, but it's only for media members only. So opening night, they will have media that gets invited and they get to go film through the houses, which would be really cool. But that'll be the only time you get to film in the Orlando houses. Orlando houses are like exclusive.
Yeah.
They're like hidden gems, which I kind of like that. I do. I kind of like because
you still can find walkthroughs though from the people who get invited.
The problem is with being able to film in the houses is this thing right here. Yeah, everybody has one of these, and majority of people, if they're allowed to, everyone's going to be doing this, and you're going to have those problems, right? But at the same time, you're also going to just have people on their phones instead of just experiencing it. They made these houses, they spent millions. Well, I don't know how much they spent on this, but they spent so much for you to go there and to be immersed in the experience. These things have killed society's immersion so much. Okay.
Don't get on your rant. But yeah, the phones can be very, very annoying from a scare actor perspective, and it makes you like not as like interactive with the guests. If you come out and you see like a flash coming towards you, you're like, nope, I'm gonna stay back here because it will literally like blind you.
Oh, it blinds you.
So
I will say a little bit without trying to get too much in detail, but in 2019, Dracula, we had contacts, and any bright light it was like a flashbang. Like if anybody had a bright light on my contacts, it completely like reversed that lighting back into my head. And I was just like, I can't see. So I would usually most of the time people do that, themed as Dracula, I get my cape and I just like throw it over me and stuff like that. But some people are annoying.
Well, they don't know. They don't like think of it from like that perspective. Yeah. And a lot of times it's like they don't realize their flash is on. They're trying to like sneak a video.
Oh yeah, every now and then you'll see somebody kind of like this, and they're like, oh no, and I'm like, oh no, oh why, yeah, all the time.
Somebody said they should have scare actors randomly walk through the house and then get like dragged to scare other people. You know what I mean? Like walk through like as a guest, like a planted guest. And then like a scare actor comes out and grabs like the person walking in front of you. You know what I'm talking about? Like kind of how they do at like a horror makeup show where like the person that gets called up is actually an actor.
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Okay.
So like an actor walks through as a guest and then like gets dragged by a scare actor. So all the people behind that actor are like, oh my God, that person just got grabbed. We actually knew people that used to do that. Did you ever know anybody that did that? I knew scare actors that
I knew people that did that and they got fired.
Yeah. I don't think anybody I knew got fired. But I knew people who would like, when their friends would go through other scare actors, they would like grab them and pull them into their boo hole. And it would freak all the other guests out. But it would be kind of cool if they did that like on purpose. But it would suck to be that scare actor that is just like, you're not actually acting tonight. You're just going to dress up as a guest.
I mean, it's still acting.
Yeah, that's
it's
true.
It's just the problem is you get so many people who like will believe in that and then they go crazy in the house.
And then go like tell on.
No, they're like they just okay. So
or like run.
So this is like not even the story that we're on for tonight, but I kid you not, my first year every single year that I've done scare acting, I've gotten punched in the face. Every single year. Some on purpose by you got crazy people. Some people reaction. It's just like reactions and stuff. And sometimes you'll just get flailed. You know, some people like do this and you just get hit in the face and you're like, oh, okay. But I feel like if some people like see like that planted thing, like what we were talking about, I feel like people are like, okay, I'm throwing hands, somebody touches me. So
it just makes people more on edge. And it would also ruin the momentum. They're big on numbers and getting people through the house.
It honestly sucks. There's like, I understand it because I mean, an event as busy as HHN, like holy crap, how many people you got to get through? You got lines that are like hours long. So you got to get people through. I get that, but sometimes like I could have a gap as far as me to Steph, and you have some of the house ops kind of saying like come on. And I'm like, I'm looking. So I did want to share this. We kind of got off topic. I'm like,
sorry,
guys. Stephanie's kind of all over the place. I'm all over the place.
Sorry.
Because we're 2 weeks away from HHN. We've all day. This is what we've been saying. Like, oh my gosh, like, what other videos do we have to do? Like, what are we gonna do at the event? Like, what's gonna be the houses we're gonna hit? What's the order and stuff? There's so much like going on that I feel like we've been so chaotic recently.
Yeah.
We just haven't like been able to take
a breath,
like a deep breath, like honestly. But I wanted to pull this up. This is from Horror Nights Orlando fan page. They have, this is going to be spoilers, so if you guys don't want to see any of this, more than welcome to tune it out. We'll just listen to audio. We'll kind of, or maybe not, just say like 5 minutes. But if you guys want to spoil it, get on out, because we're going to show you guys some things. If not, if you're all for it, we're going to move on. Here's some of the house facades. We got Legends Collide, which we did show this on Instagram before. This is where the old Beetlejuice, or last year's Beetlejuice house was. So we're excited for this. This is the first part of the story where Hollywood has the second part. So I am excited for this, especially since this is supposed to be the longest house in Horror Nights history. I believe is what they said. Like, this is the longest house that they've ever had lengthwise. So I'm excited to see that because to me, I feel like that is the future of houses at HHN, where they need to just make them longer, especially like your sound stages. I hate when they share two houses in one sound stage. Just make that one house and make it longer. That's my opinion. So, but that's Legends Collide. Then you get the weekend, which is, this is not really a great overview photo.
Chrissy, the weekend sticker is hot trash.
The what?
The weekend sticker is hot trash.
I agree. This whole facade, I think there's going to be more added into this area here. I feel like they're going to add something here. And then obviously you can see some trust here. So they're going to add more stuff. Because to be honest, to be something as big as the weekend, like, what is this? Like, especially when you look at Legends Collide. Like, to be honest, this shows you, like, my hype list for these houses. There's Legends Collide, and then there's the weekend.
It looks so bad compared to the other one.
Like, what is going on here? I say obviously. I hope that they have more to add. Because
there's gotta be. And if not, there's gonna be lights on it. There's gonna be music.
Yeah, like, they got to have something.
It's not just gonna be that. Oh, hopefully.
HHN, if you're watching, please. And then this is Descendants of Destruction. You can actually get a good, if you guys go into Universal, you can go to the Animal Actors stage, and if you go like to the top to watch the show, you can actually see this facade. This is where last year was Puppet Theater, and it's a whole like subway station. It looks like run down. This one's gonna be really cool. I feel like this is gonna be ominous at night, like lit up. Can you see it?
This is which one?
Descendants of Destruction.
Oh, okay.
Here's a better photo of it too from the front. So it looks like you got this like vehicle out here that kind of looks like it's like beaten down. It looks like there's like solar panels or like lighting on here or whatever, because this is supposed to be like something like happened obviously, and there's survivors here, so this is like a beacon for survivors to come, but the deeper you go, the more dangerous it gets. So this is exciting. I think this is gonna be nice at night. You can see it kind of extending into the tent there. And then the one I'm really excited about, bugs eaten alive. Like, look at this.
That looks
so cool. The future is now. Like, I mean, the whole 1950s.
It reminds me of Scary Tales, or not Scary Tales.
Slaughter Cinema.
No.
Oh, I don't know what you're saying.
I'm thinking last year. Scary.
Oh, Scary Heart. Yeah, 100%. I feel like exactly that's what the layout is. What are you doing, buddy?
Can you go back to the weekend one again?
Yeah. What's up?
Oh, okay. Chris said he thinks it looks like the garage part is going to be the entrance rather than the doors.
Maybe. It's just the garage part's a huge section that's sometimes backstage where they have...
But you see the lighting and everything.
That could be. I wonder if it'll be like a huge like concert kind of set and you walk into that.
That would make it a lot. That would make this facade a lot better.
But still, that sticker... Hey, no. Go that way. Go lay down. You're at the cords. Hold up, guys. Go lay down. Go lay down.
Come here.
Come here. We got a Hondo moment. Lay down. I know. Lay down. I know.
Yeah, the Bugs facade is kind of like 50s primetime at Disney.
Yeah.
50s primetime
Anything
and
50s.
the sci-fi dine-in.
Sci-fi dining.
Yeah.
Hondo, what did I just say?
Go lay down.
Go lay down.
Go lay down.
He's like, guys, it's an hour.
Yeah.
But anyway, so like the
hour.
Bugs one, it does look exciting. I'm excited to see this little tunnel area that they have too. I wonder how filled up this is going to be, like on the walls. Is it going to have like neon lights or anything, or like very bright, like luminescent white lighting? But it's really cool. I can't really say or see what this says. It says kills something, cools, purifies. It's talking about that AC like unit that it has, which is supposed to help exterminate the bugs in your house, but it ends up mutating them.
Mm-hmm.
So I think this is really cool. I'm excited to hear actually a good description of this. Men in Black, the ride right next door to it. It's the like that fair that they have going on. You know, like the audio. It's like welcome to like. I feel like that's what this entrance facade is going to sound like. You're going to hear something along the lines of that.
Yeah.
I'm stoked. So those are some photos, the aerial photos that we got that was posted by Horror Nights Orlando fan. This came from Bio Reconstruct on Twitter. So shout out to them for having these shots because these look awesome, guys. We're excited. Like in 2 weeks.
Yeah, World's Fair.
World's Fair, yeah. Cammy, K8, am I saying Kate, right? I think The Weeknd is a super biased house. I'm a huge fan of him, and it is definitely my most anticipated. Non-fans are not as excited. I agree, and I think it's because if you're not a fan, or if you don't listen to the music, it's kind of one of those things where it's like an original house. You don't know what to expect.
It's like any IP, really. Like if you've never seen Halloween and you don't really care for Michael Myers, you're not going to be super excited for the Halloween house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like any other IP because you have to kind of like the intellectual property that it's based off of in order to be excited for the house.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
I do think that, like, even though we're not fans of The Weeknd, like, I'm very excited for this house just because I think the overall vibe of it seems very different from everything else that we're getting this year, but also, like, a vibe that I like. So I'm excited for it.
I think it'll be fun, especially the music upbeat and everything. And I'm hoping that if this house is a success, even with people who are not fans of The Weeknd, I hope they come out saying like, you know what, the house was good. I'm glad I went through it. I hope it paves the way to have like an artist featured house where they can collab with HHN and just come up, especially getting some 80s music involved. We're huge fans of the 80s. So I think that would be something really cool. So we're hoping that this house is a success.
Yeah.
We also saw some, I'm not going to talk about it. There were some leaked things that we saw about it that actually.
I don't think I saw any of that.
I didn't show you any of it. I don't want to ruin the surprise because it is really neat with what I saw.
Okay, then I don't want.
Yeah, it is really neat, and it's something that I think you would appreciate the most because it's kind of in your alley of things that you like with HHN. So I saw it and I was like, okay, you know what? I'm getting more excited for this house. Still skeptic, but
we're on the same page with Crystal. We're rooting for all of the houses. We want all of them to be amazing.
Yeah, we want the whole event to be rock and roll, baby. We want everyone who pays hundreds of dollars to enjoy this event and come out and be like, man, you know what? Let's pay a couple more $100 and go experience it again. That's what we want. We don't want to be a channel or people or fans of the event that are like, you know what? This event, it sucks. Like this sucked. They didn't do good here. We don't want that. Like, we want to be able to talk and get excited with you guys about what this event is, what's coming to the event, and then of course getting to go experiencing it, showing you guys the event and being like, this was worth it. This is worth it. Like they did so much better than last year. And then next year's event, they're like this, next year's event's better than this year's event. We constantly want that because we feel like this event and the company Universal can pull this off. So those are saying. But anyways, Kate Cammy with the $4.99. Thank you so much for donating $4.99 to the channel. The channel that takes you through the fun. And then we also got
beautiful.
Ready? Fun Guy Gamer.
There you go.
Also known as Fungi Gamer with a $5 donation saying, I have a suspicion that Descendants may have been what the Evil Dead Rise might have become if it indeed got dropped late. It's a good idea. If it's supposed to be based in like the like New York or anything, like in a big city, like a subway station and stuff, I think that's actually, I didn't even think of that. If we were supposed to get that as a house, I think they could have probably put some of those props related to like destruction and stuff into that house maybe. It made it more filling. We also saw some photos inside of Descendants of Destruction, and oh my gosh, there's some like tight-knit areas that you get to walk through, and it looks good, but
I'm nervous about that.
I feel like you might be a little, if you're claustrophobic, that house might get you in some parts. So, but Fungi Gamer, thank you so much for the $5 donation. Truly appreciate it, my man. Boom. Now, the last thing that we haven't talked about that we need to get to tonight, which I'm going to check the... No, stay. I'm going to check the battery real quick. Oh, we're doing good. Battery's good, guys. It's not even that low. We're still good for today. So, another thing we haven't talked about yet is the 2 shows that we got finally released, which one of them we're not surprised with.
I know. Also, before we get off of the houses and stuff, I just wanted to mention Megan and Crystal were talking about how they like to just go in blind and not watch like the media videos beforehand. And I feel like if we didn't go on opening night, so like everything was fresh, there weren't any videos out. If we didn't go opening night and we went like 3 weeks in, was like our first night, I feel like we'd be the same way. Like we'd want like no spoilers. Like at least that's how I am. I don't like things to be like, I want everything to be like brand new. I don't know how you feel.
I 100% agree with you. I don't want to be spoiled because I'm like, I want us to be able to experience it together, like raw.
Megan does watch them. Her sister doesn't.
Oh. I don't want to have that surprise element taken away. That's why we hate leaks and things like that. But the anticipation of knowing what we're about to experience, especially it's not like, oh, I'm about to go ride like Small World. Like I'm about to go through a haunted house from HHN, right? It's like I kind of want to know a little bit of what I'm about to get into before I actually get into it.
See, you don't want to be scared. I want to be scared. So I'm like, if I watch beforehand, I'm not going to get scared. So I would not want to watch them beforehand because I do want to be like surprised and scared. But that's where we differ.
I feel like secretly I would watch them behind your back.
Yeah, you would.
Just to kind of get prepared.
And then I'd come out and like we'd get out of the house and I'd be like, oh my God, did you see that? And you'd be like, yeah.
No, I feel like yeah. I saw it. It got me.
Probably.
But moving on with the 2 shows. Halloween Nightmare Fuel Wildfire, which is going to be in the Fear Factor stage, the old Fear Factor stage. Not surprised by this at all. We've been the entire year speculating that Nightmare Fuel was going to make a return. And sure enough, it does. They even had like rehearsals going on in the middle of the day. Like guests could see like things going on. There's an aerial performer that you could see like going on. And it's like, why couldn't they just wait till the park closed to do that stuff? Like again, leaks and stuff like that. But this is coming. We're excited. Yay. Cool. Right? We wonder how different is it going to be from last year's show? I hope there's more like illusion. Just a little bit more.
Me too.
I feel like there's going to be a lot more pyro than last year's show. I think they're going to definitely emphasize on the element of fire in this one, especially with wildfire being, in the title.
I love all the fire, but it's Florida. It's like 100 degrees out some of the nights, like in September, and you're sitting there and you're sweating, and then that fire like comes on, and you're just
sitting
like,
close, you can feel
God,
it.
Like this is not helping whatsoever.
There were nights where we were switching. We were sweating, just sitting there watching this or waiting for the show to happen. And then when, of course, any of the parts where the flame was involved, it's just like, Like I'm dripping in sweat. It's like I don't want to
Yeah.
be here right now.
Yeah, it's like, could they do like ice or something? I
Yeah,
don't know.
yeah, an ice show. Let me carve an ice sculpture.
That'd be cool.
Throw ice in the stands.
It would just melt immediately.
Oh yeah. And then the one that surprised us, like this one, I think this was the biggest surprise besides the Pumpkin Lord.
Oh
for us,
yeah, biggest
that came out
surprise.
of left field was Ghoulish, a Halloween Tale. This is your Lagoon show. You know, we thought the first year you got Marathon of Mayhem. The second year you got Marathon of Mayhem. We thought this was going to be a Marathon of Mayhem. Like it was just the Lagoon show was just going to be called Marathon of Mayhem. But it looks like this year they're doing something called Ghoulish, a Halloween Tale, which we are super excited for this. Because last year's Water Lagoon show was like, it was cool. Like we saw it once and we're like, we don't have to see it again, right?
I feel like it was almost too similar to 2019's, but like had just a little bit of a different vibe. And since it wasn't 80s and synth and everything, like nothing was gonna top that. For you at least.
At least for me, yeah, I agree.
So like we saw it maybe like twice and we were like, meh.
I would like to know personally, who here is actually excited to see Ghoulish? Are you guys excited to see this more of a storyline type of Lagoon show around traditional Halloween with different tales? Or would you rather prefer having a show like we did last year with Marathon of Mayhem? I want to know what you guys think about this, because personally, we're both excited for it. Like we want to get like a spot for the show. We want to sit down. We want to hear the creepy, like traditional Halloween music. We want to see the colors of like greens, purples, and oranges, blacks, like those types of colors. We want to hear, just anything that's like pure, like traditional, spooky Halloween. And I'm excited to see what the story that they tell in this is going to be, because they don't really talk much about it, which I hope they don't, because I want to be surprised by the show. But
I have no idea what to expect, but I like that it's like traditional Halloween vibe. It's not like, I feel like what was last year's? It was like a Carnage Factory. And
yeah.
it like that vibe sometimes like I'm in the mood for, but since it's like the 31st, we're getting a traditional like Halloween year. It should be a like traditional Halloween show.
Yeah.
And I like that they're doing that.
Yeah, we got, let's see, like Megan Beale saying that, she's excited for it regardless, even though she doesn't know what she's expecting. Then you get Tom and Nikki, Team Randall. By the way, if you guys don't know Team Randall, these folks are from the UK, which means it's like 3 a.m. These guys are fighting. These are warriors.
That's actually, I didn't even think about that. All the like Casper stuff on all the merch.
Yeah.
Maybe he's in the show.
What if Casper is in Ghoulish? No, then
Casper's
Casper would be
the
an official like HHN character featured. I don't know how I feel about that.
That would be amazing.
Casper, the friendly ghost. I don't know how I feel about that. But Team Randall from the UK, I honestly don't know. Because it's like
It's so weird that he's on all the merch though.
For instance though, like last year you had Chucky on all the merch, and then you had a little like picture thing, but he wasn't really in the event.
That's true.
We even have him up here. Like Chucky's featured like at last year's event, and it wasn't like he was
true.
really anywhere. So I wonder if they have like some contract or some marketing that they're doing that involves like Casper as an IP or something, and it's just like
just
put him in. He's a ghost.
He's not even horror though. It's like a little kid's. I don't know. They should do a daytime Halloween thing for children like they did in 2020, where they do like trick-or-treating and everything, and Casper can be the icon for that.
Yeah. Didn't we talk about this in the car? Right?
Probably.
So I can't remember. Somebody asked a question on the channel a couple days ago, and I just got back to it today. And they were wondering if like HHN's ever gonna have a crossover with Epic Universe and Universal Studios. And in my belief, there's 2 options that I feel like we might face. One being where Epic Universe opens up and HHN stays where it's at, but it brings in Islands of Fear, and you have the old property being all Halloween Horror Nights, where Epic Universe is like their regular daytime operations. They stick to that, and you might even have like a family-themed Halloween overlay over there. or vice versa, where HHN goes completely over to Epic Universe, and then you got Universal Studios and Islands of Adventure just staying like the normal operation by having family-themed Halloween events throughout the day, so they can actually have more catering to families. I feel like that first option is more than likely because they have all the sound stages and everything there that they really use for the houses. And I wonder if Epic Universe is going to be more detailed just for the regular operating things. So,
Yeah.
But I do feel like in the future, Universal is going to go down a road where they have more family-themed Halloween events added.
They should.
Yeah.
Because that one year that they did it, it was so cute. Like I remember we went during the day and there were kids in like costumes and stuff.
I think it was that 2020.
It was 2020 because they didn't have.
They didn't have the event, but they had the little trick or treating around islands, and then like the little skeleton crawl and things like that.
Cute.
Like I feel like if they add more things like that for the day, especially like in Japan, they have like a family event, like Halloween event, and then they do their HHN at night. Which why can't we do that? Why can't we do that?
But yeah, the merchandise right now is a little weird. Like they have like Child's Play stuff coming out, like again.
Yeah.
Like they
more
keep
Chucky
bringing
stuff.
Chucky stuff out, and then they keep putting like Gizmo stuff out.
Yeah,
as
Gremlins.
Well.
Which
then,
I'm all for a Gremlins house.
Yeah.
Like let's bring Gremlins as a house one year.
But then like Michelle said, they like randomly have the director on some of the merchandise this year. It's like, what?
Yeah, it's this thing called Studio Screamers. I think that's what it's called.
But like, why
But
those characters?
What is Studio Screamers? I
don't know.
I don't even
is
know
it
what
like
that is.
the little like action figure thingies?
I
that
think
they
so.
had?
But it's like, why do they have those random ones being featured for like
This year? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I have no idea. Unknowing.
Oh, maybe the tribute store being theater themed.
You think it would feature like some of the the question that I have is because the tribute store this year is going to be tied with the Scare Zone,
With
the Sweet Revenge. It's going to be tied in with that Scare Zone there with the theming. But the question is, what year is that?
The 50s.
Is that a 50s?
I think they said on the podcast that Sweet Revenge was the 50s.
So then, like, that movie theater, if it is, like, open, if it's not abandoned, if it's, like, live with everything going on, I can't remember the newspaper articles that they have in there, but if it is open, what movies were out in the 50s? Casper was not a thing. So, I don't know, man.
I don't know.
I'm interested to see what this year's, like, Scare Zone will be. I think my chain just fell off.
Yeah, Hondo with a squeaky toy.
Guys,
going after it.
I don't know if you guys can see this, but, like, my cross just, like, fell off.
Talking about Halloween too much. We get to an hour and 20 minutes and everything just falls apart.
Yeah, do you guys see this?
Yeah, I think 1954. Just set it down, we'll fix it afterwards.
Yeah, but like, no, I mean, look at this. It just...
Yeah, that's a bad omen.
The lightsaber just died.
What's going on? And Hondo's
just squeaking away like nothing's wrong. Oh man, I don't like that. All right. Anyways, all right, folks. Halloween Horror Nights is coming to life. 2 weeks left. My chain just fell off the cross, and then the lightsabers are dying. Battery over there, or the light over there is flickering. There's shadows moving.
Yeah, I don't think we've talked about this yet. We really like the merchandise with like the Pumpkin Lord on it, and what does it say? Like, I forget what it says. There's some words on it. But the merch, like the design of it is really cool. Like I love the artwork that they have for it.
I'm gonna pull it up right now. I'll pull it up for all of you guys.
So the tie-dye hoodie is so cool. I didn't check how much it was when we were there.
65, I think.
65? See, that's a little much for a sweatshirt. But
I mean, this is what that artwork is. It says scares at every turn. Halloween Horror Nights, Universal Studios with Pumpkin Lord, and then this is like all the
ghosts are so cute.
This is like featuring all the scare zones pretty much, and it looks good. Pumpkin Lord looks a little thin.
He does. I think he's supposed to be, but those costumes just make him.
Yeah, remember at the panel they said that they wanted him to be chunky.
Yeah.
So this is interesting to see him this thin. But yeah, so I mean, this was the artwork, which is really cool, and they also even had some other like just very like vintage Halloween like T-shirts. They had one with like a cat, a pumpkin, and there was one more. I don't know if you remember. There was another one. There's like just vintage T-shirts, and then of course the All Hallows Eve boutique in Islands. It's all like vintage traditional Halloween. Yeah. We're loving that. So I'm excited to see when the tribute store opens up and they actually release more merchandise. I'm excited to see what the merchandise is for this year's event. Mm-hmm. So. Oh, did something.
Yeah, it's also too hot for hoodies, unfortunately.
It's hot in here. We're sweating.
Yeah.
I'm sweating. So, anyways, I realized we're at an hour and 23 minutes. Let me double check that camera. Make sure.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if the pumpkin lord like grew throughout the event. We thought that was gonna happen last year.
Last year for the event, yeah.
But they did say he'll be like in there interacting with guests, like burping in your face and everything like he did last year.
One thing that I'm interested to find out is how they're going to do a cast swap. Like if he's supposed to be in his pumpkin in the scare zone, does he just like walk out like a regular human and the other one comes in? Like I wonder how they gotta. I don't think they. There's gotta be some kind of cool transition for him to come out.
Maybe like fog will go up and he'll go down into the pumpkin and then like I don't know. Then
just sit there. And the other one comes
That's
up.
Where his break is.
Just gonna chill in the pumpkin.
I don't know. Maybe they put like a cloak on him like while he's down there and then he walks off. I don't know. We'll see. I guess.
I don't know. That's the one thing that I'm kind of confused about. Like actually seeing how that will work. So I really have no idea. Jim Daniels. This guy truly is a legend. He's the ghost in the shadows. Jim Daniels with another $25 donation did a paranormal investigation this last weekend. What? You did a paranormal investigation this last weekend? Wow. And I had my cross ripped off my neck. Scared the you-know-what out of me.
Yeah, Brian would never even do that to begin with, but if that happened, he would be out the door.
I mean, are you telling the truth, Jim? Did you see what happened here? You see? I mean, you guys see this, right? Like, my cross literally... Like, here's the thing. This is actually what I'm kind of confused about, guys. The piece that holds this cross together, or, like, where the cross actually broke, is, like, there's nothing ripped. It's just, like...
It's just an old chain.
No, I mean, look at this. Look at this.
I've had necklaces like that break before.
So Stephanie doesn't believe in like all things scary and stuff like that. When you're a person who has personal experiences with things like that, like this is like stuff that could potentially be something.
I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it.
You'll see it soon. You got 2 weeks left. But Jim Daniels with the $25. Thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
I actually
need to stop.
I want to know with this paranormal investigation you had. I want to know more about it.
Do you? Michelle asked.
I'm about to end the live stream right now, and we're just about to call Jim and be like, "All right, talk to us. What do we have going on?"
Michelle asked if we would ever do a ghost tour. I've done a few ghost tours, like touristy ones, but we actually for a minute we talked about like traveling the country and doing like ghost tours for like the YouTube channel and just getting like basically like Brian's reaction. Basically just getting like Brian's reaction to all the like spooky stuff on camera because it would be hilarious. That never happened.
I get too sensitive
still in our
with
back
those
pocket.
Things. I get too sensitive. I don't think it's in our back pocket. I think it doesn't exist anymore. It was an idea, and I don't think we'll ever touch that. But we did do a ghost. What is it called? A ghost tour in New Orleans. Remember?
Oh yeah, that wasn't really a ghost tour.
No, that one was more like crazy murderer story.
It talked about more like crime stuff rather than ghosts. Yeah,
he's literally okay. So he's sitting with his pumpkin in his mouth, and he's just looking at us, like chewing on the squeaker part. She's just telling us we talk too long. So, but anyways, hour and 27 minutes into the live stream, guys. If you guys are just joining us, kind of late. We talked about all the houses coming to the event. We talked about the Scarezones. We talked about the shows. We're waiting for the food. We are 2 weeks away. We have our most anticipated video for the houses. We talked a little bit of our scare zones in a sense, but our houses, we're going to be doing a video tomorrow. We're going to be filming it, and then we'll post it either Monday, possibly. And then if you guys are a channel member, we're going to be posting that video the night before, exclusively for you guys. So anybody who's a channel member, that night before we post it, either Monday, we're going to post a video, or Tuesday. And depending on what day we post it, that night before, we'll post it for you guys. So if you guys are a channel member, you'll be able to check it out and get to see it a whole night before everybody else. And then the next day we will post it out there for everybody what our anticipated list is.
Yeah, and Tom and Nikki asked what stain screen we'll probably use or what we would recommend using. We'll probably do a video on that. Are we still doing that video? Like, you know what I'm talking about? Did you hear me?
What? The stain screen one?
No, yeah.
Like our route?
Yes, our route.
Yeah.
Like what stain screen we're gonna use.
Hopefully.
Yeah. We'll probably do a video.
Hopefully. Yeah. Here's the thing, guys.
We'll probably still do Springfield like we did last year.
Yeah, we highly recommend doing the stain screens in the back. The way we're gonna do it, and I'll tell all of you guys this now, we're gonna go ahead and do the Legends Collide house first. I think we're gonna go in the stain screen location for that house. And then we're gonna treat the weekend's house like Beetlejuice, where we don't do that until like the end of the night, like in the last hour when the times go down for it. So once we do Legends Collide, we're gonna pretty much head out and then try to do those back houses like Bugs Eaten Alive.
Mm-hmm.
Like early in the day, yeah.
Early in the day.
And then Descendants of Destruction. And then we'll work our way back to the sound stages pretty much. Because usually you can get a good amount of houses over there in the back with stain screen done before 6:30 when that park opens up for the actual event. So yeah.
Yeah, I think this might be our longest stream yet.
This is the longest stream yet. But anyways, I hope you guys are excited. We're going to start wrapping it up because we are starting to sweat.
Yeah.
It's really hot. Hondo's also, he's panting. He's kind of done and tired. But we had a good time. We've been waiting for this, guys. I'm going to get a little emotional with you guys here, as always. But I have to. We have 2 weeks left for the event to start. This is the time that we've been prepping for months and months and months for. And now the event is like actually here. It's like knocking at the door. This is something Stephanie and I purely love with all our hearts. This is how we met. We fell in love with each other. We love the event. And now we get to be able to have this opportunity to sit in a hot garage, sweating, dealing with the dog like Hondo, to talk to you guys, right? We purely enjoy this, and we wouldn't change this for the world. And to be able to see the comments that we get from you guys, and to see all the support, and seeing all of you guys, like messaging us, commenting towards us, and even like watching our videos or like on Instagram, and even our channel members who's out there and supporting us, and all of the love and support that we've seen throughout, since last year, like when we started like HHN stuff with last year. It's been a heck of a ride for us. We've honestly enjoyed this whole thing, and it makes HHN more special. Like, it's not just like the event like that we love and look forward to, but it's the fact that we're counting down to these days where we get to possibly get to see some of the greatest people at the park, and we get to like take pictures with them and talk with them and say like, man, like, oh, what house do you guys like? Oh, glad, thanks so much for supporting us, blah, blah. We sometimes, like, there'll be days like last year where we look forward to going to the park just to see you guys at the event. Like, truly, like, that's what makes this event for us now. Being able to do this YouTube journey has been hell, but it's been awesome all in one. Like, we've learned a lot, and we've been able to meet a lot of people around the world. Like, for instance, like Team Randall, you guys from the UK, we've had people from Chile, we've had people from Portugal, from Spain, from Germany, we had people from France. I know we had people from Russia, we had people from Australia, Canada, Mexico, Puerto Rico, Orlando, that's exotic, Orlando, Florida, but and then people all over the place. And it's really cool to see that, there's so many people out there who loves this event, and that, we're not like alone. There's times where I feel like in February, I'm like, am I the only person thinking of HHN, rocking HHN music now? But knowing that we have a whole community out there that loves this event, like, this is a moment that we need to enjoy. We need to soak up and get ready, because in 2 weeks, baby, 2 weeks, we get to go through those arches, get to see the medallion, hear the music, which I'm excited. I want to know what the music's going to be for this year's event. And of course, the fog.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel if we got a fog machine and put it in here?
I don't think we can do that.
Get a fog machine and make this place really foggy. I think that'd be so cool. So.
But yeah, I saw a few people commenting like, we hope we get to run into you guys. If you guys see us, like, yell our names.
Please come say hi.
Come say hi.
Throw something at us. Whatever you gotta do.
We, like, even if we're, like, look like we're busy or look like we're in the middle of something, like, interrupt us. It's fine.
Even if we look like we don't want to be talked to or pissed off, because there's some nights when we're there and we're just sweating, we're tired. We may not look approachable, but I promise you guys, like, we're open arms all the time.
Yes. But we appreciate anybody coming up to us to chat.
Even if it's to come up and just, like, say, hey, like, whatever, like, anything like that, honestly, like, there'll be nights where we are walking through HHN. We're in line for a house. We're tired. It's hot. It's humid. And then one of you guys comes along and they're like, oh, hey, we talk for like 30 seconds. And then we get like a boost. We're like, all right, yeah, HHN, baby. Like, come on, get back in it. This is night 37. We're rocking and rolling. Haven't slept. I haven't eaten anything. Truly, like, you guys do make this experience much better for us. So huge thank you to all of you guys. And of course, I'm going to put this out there. If you guys are not part of the channel that takes you through the fog, if you're not part of the membership, check it out. We have some exclusive things coming. We have the behind the scenes video of how we did the little Steph levitation from Stranger Things. That should be up on the channel tomorrow for our members. We're also going to be doing it behind the scenes video of our studio and things like that. And then we also talked about it. We haven't finalized everything, but for our channel members, we will be doing possible live streams at the park just for channel members. So we're in talks with everything like that, but we want to be able to give our members who take it one step extra and helping us be able to make this a reality for us, like this dream a reality. We want to bring you guys some pretty cool stuff, some things that you'll like. So check it out. It's on the main page. It's the join button. You don't have to do it. I try to tell everybody, I'm not trying to be a salesman. Just by watching it, just by communicating, it means the world to us. We do it for fun. We do this to enjoy it and be able to just talk HHN year round. So Halloween Horror Nights is finally announced, folks. Everything. We're ready to rock and roll.
Yes.
So until the next video, guys, an hour and 35 minutes. I'm just trying to drag it on because I want this to be like the longest live stream we've had. But don't forget, next week, August 26th, be there at 8:30 p.m. because we're doing the event, Build Your Own HHN with you guys. We've been going through all the comments that we gotten from people. We're starting to get artwork set up. We've got our list ready to go, what we're picking, see what you guys have. Then we got our most anticipated video. We got our full guide to HHN video. Then we got, what route we'll take in the video. We got opening night. We got scare actor dining. We got, this is the time where like a lot of content gets out there. So thank you so much for joining us, guys. And until the next video, we can't wait to see you guys there. And of course, like always, catch you guys in the fog. Peace out, everybody.
Bye.
Hold up.
Say bye, Hondo.
Come on, Hondo. Let's rock out. Get up here. Come on, buddy. Come on, buddy. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Gotta say bye to everyone.
Bye. Bye.
Alrighty, folks. Have a good night, guys.